In this video, we will show you how to clean the collet chuck of VHF dental machines. Cleaning the collet chuck regularly is essential to avoid bad processing results and to prevent spindle damage. We recommend cleaning the collet chuck on a weekly basis or every 3 days if you are a heavy user. Let's get started. You need a soft cleaning cloth, the spindle service set and the measuring pin. You can find the measuring pin in the accessory case. The accessory case of almost all machines also contains the spindle service set. However, the spindle service set of the K5 and K5 Plus can be found in the accessory drawer. Never use other tools or compressed air to clean the collet chuck. The spindle service set consists of the following items: a cleaning brush, a knurled nut, a tube of collet chuck grease, a cleaning cone. Let's use the spindle service set and measuring pin to clean the collet chuck of this K5 Plus. The machine needs to be fully operational for this task. Open the working chamber door. Ensure that the blank holder is empty. Your machine's operating instructions contain information on how to remove blanks, block and abutment holders from the blank holder. Close the working chamber door. Move the spindle into the tool change position with dental CNC or with the touchscreen of the Z4. Open the working chamber door. Put the knurled nut to the spindle with one hand. Orient the measuring pin so that the ring is in the lower half. With the other hand, push the measuring pin through the knurled nut into the collet chuck. Loosen the collet chuck with the knurled nut until you can turn the collet chuck by hand. Pull the measuring pin out of the collet chuck. Unscrew and remove the collet chuck with your hand. Insert the cleaning cone into the inner cone of the spindle. Clean the inner cone by twisting the cleaning cone. Clean the inner cone of the collet chuck. Insert the cleaning brush into the collet chuck until the end of the brush aligns with the opening of the collet chuck. Do not push any further because otherwise dirt may get into the thread of the collet chuck. Pull the cleaning brush out of the collet chuck while twisting it at the same time. Repeat this movement multiple times. Thoroughly clean the outer surfaces of the collet chuck with the cleaning cloth. Ensure that the collet chuck is perfectly clean before greasing it in the next step. Apply the collet chuck grease on your index finger. There must not be more than a very thin layer of greasy film on your finger. Smear the grease with your thumb. Apply the smeared collet chuck grease to the flanks of the collet chuck. The blue areas in this picture mark the areas to which you have to apply the grease. Be careful, make sure that no grease gets into the longitudinal slots of the collet chuck. One of these slots is marked red in the picture. After you have applied the grease, screw the collet chuck into the spindle by hand. Orient the measuring pin so that the ring is in the lower half. Put the knurled nut to the collet chuck. Then push the measuring pin through the nut into the collet chuck. Screw the collet chuck into the spindle with the knurled nut. Firmly tighten the collet chuck so that it is properly seated in the spindle. Otherwise, rotational imperfections can occur during operation, which may damage the spindle and tools. Close the working chamber door. Move the spindle into the default position with dental CNC or with the touchscreen of the Z4. That's it, you're done. The call it chuck of your machine is clean again. The machine is now prepared for upcoming jobs.